How you doing, everybody? Dr. Dex Alvarez here, Palmacia Chiropractic and Wellness Center. And today I wanted to share with you guys just a funky misalignment issue that I see with a lot of patients that seems to get misdiagnosed a lot of times and is really a huge pain driver for a lot of patients. And that's what's called a subluxed or partially dislocated rib. So a lot of people that are coming in and seeing us are having these really funky symptoms, whether it's a sharp pain or a really funky dull ache in their mid-back between their shoulder blades. Some people also notice this as a sharp pain under their shoulder blade, or even into the front of their chest or side, where that rib tends to kind of move around and articulate or meet with your sternum. So anatomy-wise, a lot of people, some people, I don't want to say a lot of people, some people don't realize that your ribs actually start almost at the lowest part of your neck. Your first rib starts back here, kind of wraps underneath your collarbone, almost like a collar around, which sometimes can shoot upwards. So that rib can partially dislocate or sublux up and can impinge on the nerves that are exiting out of your neck that go down your arm into your hand, creating what's called a brachial plexus syndrome or a thoracic outlet syndrome, which can get misdiagnosed as disc herniations or other issues that can cause pain, numbness, tingling down the arm into the hand. So, obviously you want to have the proper exam, you want to have the proper imaging done, but that's an issue that can very easily be resolved by adjusting that rib back to where it should be and alleviating that pressure off the nerve. You can see the same thing in a rib that can displace more towards the back here, right around the top of your shoulder blade, that can make contact with what's called your dorsal scapular nerve that feeds the feeling down the back of your arm and into the lower part of your hand. That's an issue too that a lot of times get misdiagnosed as a disc herniation because it's hitting the same branch of a nerve as it would at the lower part of your neck. So some people can be getting work in the neck done all day long, but they're still having the symptoms. And that's a difficult issue to find and to diagnose because it can hide underneath your shoulder blade. So again, the proper exam goes a long way. I also had a patient, very crazy story. I was working on his wife, and as I was working on his wife on the table, I'm talking to him, and he coughed and barreled over holding his chest. So I immediately started asking questions to see if this poor guy was maybe having a heart attack. And he told me no, that he gets these crazy pains in his chest as if like a donkey or a horse had kicked him in the chest. And it pretty much happens when he has a very hard cough or sneeze, or if he sleeps on his side, weird. So as I'm talking with him, it sounded like he had a displaced rib that was more displaced in the front and the back. And he had told me, he's like, there's no way that had happened. I've seen every doctor under the sun, even his cardiologist. They did exploratory heart surgery where they actually went in through his femoral artery in his groin, went in and scoped all around his heart, didn't really find anything. As a precaution, they placed a stent in. That was about 2 years ago, and you could tell by the way that this guy coughed and held his chest that the issue hadn't been resolved. So as I'm talking with him, I told him, man, I think you're going to think I'm crazy, but I think you have a rib out of place. So we had the patient lay down on the table. I took a look at him, examined him, did a quick x-ray. We could actually visually see that rib was displaced. Got him back on the table, did the adjustment, placed the rib back. It wasn't the most comfortable adjustment because his rib had been out of place for years. But as soon as the patient had gotten up, he coughed, he sneezed, he was clearing his throat, moving around, and couldn't recreate that pain in his chest again. So he was a little frustrated that he had had exploratory heart surgery, had seen all these different doctors, and it had been misdiagnosed as a heart issue, when in actuality it was a displaced fourth rib that was giving him this pain. So, this is just an example of a lot of issues that some people don't necessarily correlate to chiropractic issues. That is something that can be examined, diagnosed, x-rayed, and make sure that it's done correctly. And we can place these ribs and get these patients out of long-term pain and chronic discomfort by simply placing this rib back to where it should be. So, if you're experiencing anything like this, or friends or family members, please reach out to them, let them know that there are things that we can do to take a look at and get it placed, and really keep it where it should be in a very sustainable management plan. So I hope this answers some questions. If there's anything like this that you guys have any questions about, please feel free to reach out to the office. We'll answer any emails, I'll answer any phone calls, and if anything, we can get you in and get you examined and make sure that it is something that we can handle, or if it isn't, we get you to the proper people. So I hope you guys are having a great holiday season. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.